Guys, what's going on? It's Jada Reporter coming at y'all once again. And of course, I am here with a good friend of mine, great friend of mine, someone who I talked to just yesterday on a file that got corrupted. Unfortunately, yes, but hopefully this one goes a lot smoother. I'm already liking the transition to what I got already. This is the fastest show I've ever put together. Y'all give it up for my man, Crazy 8 of the Game Room. Y'all give it up for my man.
What's up? What's up? What's happening to the people, man? What's up?
Now, I'm gonna just kind of let you know this isn't my first go around on the whole podcast, YouTuber kind of thing. I had a channel before. I had with an old homeboy of mine, and it ended on a terrible note. To be honest with you, like you've known me for a long time. I need to get
Yeah,
that out.
going we 14 years in. 14 and a
14,
half years in.
yeah, I'm talking, and me and bruh was like on the cusp on some in the blurred community on the cusp of really bubbling over and becoming like in the forefront of that thing, but
hmm
it just didn't. Apparently, he was seeing things differently than I was seeing things, and instead of, and you know me for a while, all you gotta do is just tell me, and I can make adjustments. It's no problem.
Yeah, 100%.
But if I'm asking you what you need me to do, and you're not giving me the answers that you want to give me, I'm not assuming thought on anything. I'm not going to read minds at all. I'm the furthest thing away from mind reader.
Absolutely. I got you.
But it is what it is. That's the past, and I built this platform a little bit over a year, over 1,000 subscribers in my first year. So not too bad for somebody who just took an entire month off to start doing stuff more so like this, bringing people
Oh,
along, having a combos.
hey man, over a thousand subscribers, man. Hey, you doing the damn thing as far as I'm concerned. Congratulations on that, my friend, my brother. Always good to see you do well.
The same here, man. Like since we couldn't get into too much of it yesterday, I guess it was something working out in the heavens that the screen recording didn't go too well because we actually get to talk about what we meant to talk about because now the seasons are set. So for
Season
me,
set.
saw yesterday was the play-in tournament, the play-in playoff tournament. You gave me your picks yesterday, but kind of run over those real quick, and then we're gonna kind of break down the matchups as we go.
Okay, so let me, as a matter of fact, let me pull up the bracket just to make sure I'm not missing anything, right? Okay, so here we go. All right, so the play-in tournament, I'm gonna start out west. All right. My picks, you got Memphis, San Antonio. I think that's we all picking Memphis for that.
Yeah,
San Antonio is pretty much below
got there
below
because
average,
New
below
Orleans. They got
mediocre.
because New Orleans didn't do well. That's the only reason they're there. It's because New
Yeah.
Orleans failed to be what they could have been.
Yeah. So I got Memphis winning that. Um, Lakers and Golden State is tough. I really wanted the Lakers to go up against the Spurs and the Warriors to go up against Memphis because it would have essentially secured LeBron in the playoffs, but it also would have secured Golden State in the playoffs. I want both of them there, but you know, basketball guys didn't feel like they should both be there at the same time this year. So I am picking the Los Angeles Lakers. I will say that if Klay Thompson was healthy and this was the matchup, I would pick Golden State
Oh,
1,000%. Um, but I'm definitely picking LA to win to lock in the number 7 seed, and then that goes to so now you got Memphis going up against Golden State. Oh, so you know what? Memphis will have to go up against Golden State, and I got Golden State winning. So I guess the Lakers and Golden State will be in the playoffs at the same time.
no, to me, there's no NBA where they're gonna try their best. And I don't like talking about fixes and people jobbing and stuff like that, but there's no way they're gonna not have LeBron in the playoffs if they can't help it. Like if they just straight up missed it, okay. If he got eliminated in the first round, okay. But at least get him there.
LeBron gotta be there. He gotta be there. I mean, when you look at the playoffs a couple years ago when LeBron missed it, his first year in LA, they missed the they missed the playoffs because he was hurt. He was hurt for a good chunk of the year, and the Lakers honestly didn't have a good team. I think they still had Lonzo Ball at that time, quite frankly.
Yeah, Lonzo
With
Ball, Brandon
Ingram, yeah, Josh Hart, yeah.
Yeah.
So that year, I mean, even that year when LeBron missed the playoffs, they just weren't fun to watch because you knew who the king of the court was. It's LeBron. You know what I mean? And I'm always a fan of the king of the court needs the opportunity to defend his crown. And you saw what happened when he was able to defend it last year. He won the whole thing. So I got the Lakers locking in number 7. I got Golden State and Memphis battling it out for 8. I got Golden State winning that matchup, locking in the 8 seed. I have Golden State upsetting Utah in the first round. You know, I know Utah's good. I know Conley has been having a hell of a year. I know Jordan Clarkson has been on fire all year long.
Jordan Clarkson to me should be 6th man of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with you there. So I know they got talent. Obviously, Spider, Gobert. I know they got talent, but there's something about the aura of Steph Curry, and quite frankly, I don't like him. I don't like him as a basketball player. I love him as a person, but I do not like Draymond Green as a basketball player. But
he's this generation's Charles Oakley, and that's saying it lightly, of course. Because
the
most physical player in the game.
Charles Oakley is a real good comparison. I've heard a lot of quote unquote Dennis Rodman comparisons. That's not it.
Mark Rodman will mop the floor with this man. This is a dude who doesn't even try on the opposite side of the court. Like he puts in no effort. Like there's a difference between what Draymond does now. Charles Oakley would still try to shoot the ball. Actually, in many cases, where I think Draymond's going to wind up is more of a Ben Baker role because he's never really been that athletic. He can shoot the mid range. He thinks he's a 3-point shooter. Same characteristics, same things that Ben Baker had. And that's a guy that no one really ever thinks of. But when I think about power forwards who can't get off the ground like Zach Randolph, they have games that emulate what I saw out of Ben Baker when he was young.
Yeah, I used to believe that Draymond was had no value. And a part of that was me hating on Draymond. I really don't like him as a basketball player. Now, Draymond Green as a person, I absolutely love Draymond Green as a person. He is not afraid to step on toes. He doesn't walk on eggshells. He is himself 100% of the time. And me, I'm a guy who appreciates that. So I love Draymond the person, but as a basketball player, I just think about kicking Steven Adams in the nuts. I think about kicking LeBron in the nuts. I think about the flopping, the triple single, the fact that he's apparently so talented, but for whatever reason, he gives you something like
8, 6,
or like 8, 6, and 6, and it's like, come on, man, I need more than that, But having said all of that, there's something about Golden State when Golden State is in the playoffs, when Steph Curry is in the playoffs, when Draymond Green is in the playoffs. There's something about them that, in my gut, just makes me believe that they're going to knock off Utah. Utah is also a team that hasn't had a lot of success. So when you look at Rudy Gobert, when you look at Spider Mitchell, when you look at Jordan Clarkson, those are guys who they're really at this point for the very first time in their career. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that spotlight.
Yeah. I look at them a lot like, you remember this, the 2007 Dallas Mavericks. They were not the best team in the West that year, and they were very susceptible to get beaten in the first round, especially by a coach who knew them, because Don Nelson was their coach about 2 years before they got to that plateau, before Dirk became Dirk at that moment, because he was an MVP that season as well. That was his MVP year. And then also came to one and then got put out by Baron Davis, Derek Fisher, and the guy that Warriors team.
Yeah, I think that also with Golden State, because of their record, we don't really see, because they've been kind of been off and on all year. You don't really put this into perspective, but Golden State has a really well-rounded team. They
Hmm.
have a really well-rounded team. I mean, like the thing is, like, obviously they got they have the greatest shooter all time ever. We know that,
Two of
but
the top
he,
five best shooters of all
but
time once we get to play.
but they got Draymond. Who Draymond, despite how I feel about him, there's value in his game due to his intensity, due to his energy, but there's also Kent Bazemore. Kent Bazemore is extremely underrated.
Yeah,
Kent,
I mean,
yeah, Kent,
we got a
Kent
chance to
Bazemore is
see
extremely.
more family personally because his brother Joaquin played at Winston. We got a chance to see
Yeah,
that
yep,
that
yep.
toughness there alone. So like I said, we knew more about Kid Bazemore coming out that most people even would have thought about. I was like, yo, I know where this game comes from. I've seen
Yeah, yeah. But Kent Bazemore is extremely underrated. He plays with a lot of heart. He's not scared of anything. I like the fact that they got Jordan Poole coming off the bench, and Jordan Poole's a little erratic. He's a little erratic. He doesn't always take the best shot, but when he is on, he is on.
he's a
You know,
younger Smith, and we were talking about that yesterday. Like
a
he has
younger
a
who?
Smith, but he's not as his decision making is better. But I'm talking about as far as on the court erraticism, taking a crazy 3-pointer for no reason. That kind of stuff still happens. It reminds me of JR when I see him do it.
I don't know if I would give him J.R. Smith, but I would definitely give Jordan Poole is another Nick Young. Another Nick Young. Just when he is cold, don't pass him the ball. But when he is hot, oh my
Yes, sir.
gosh.
Be a
Yeah.
surprise third.
Yeah. I think Jordan Poole is a nice rotation player off the bench. Kevon Looney is not the best center in the league, obviously. He's not top tier in anything, but the one thing that he does give you is consistency. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. Um, my question, and maybe you can answer this, is when you look at Utah, there's Conley, there's Spider, there's Conley, there's Spider, there's
So there,
Rudy, and there's Clarkson. Outside of those four, who else is there? Who else is there that Utah has that they can depend on?
in this particular matchup, I believe it's going to come down to how well Rudy Gobert plays. Because
So
when
so 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 they have Ingles. They do have Ingles.
Mhm.
Ingles, he's a nice spot up shooter. They
he's a
have
he's
they
a
have
bit
they have
Joe Harris,
Bogdanovich. They
Joe
have
Harris to me. Like he's a lot of Joe Harris. That's
I don't even think he's as athletic as Joe Harris. I think I just think he's a specialty player, which they are necessary. I'm not saying that they're not. And it's ironic that he plays for Utah because to me personally, I don't know why he reminds me of a Jeff Hornacek type dude.
yeah, a
Um,
guy you don't want to leave him. You don't give him 6 inches of space
yeah,
behind. He's
yeah,
jacking.
but Utah also has Bogdanovich, right?
Mhm.
Boyan Bogdanovich. So they have a nice team. And honestly, on paper, I think they are the better team. But there's just something about Steph Curry and Golden State that has me putting them above Utah. So I personally I think that's going to be the biggest upset of the first round. Luca versus Kawhi and Paul George. I really want to pick Dallas. I really want to pick Dallas. I love Luka Doncic. Don't really care for Porzingis, but he is talented.
Yeah, I mean
He is.
he's where he can actually shine because he wasn't going to get that love in New York. His game was too soft for what New York.
Yeah,
New York needs that.
yeah,
I've never seen a New York Knicks team play with finesse and get out there and win games. That's why they kept winning 24 games a season because that wasn't how New York played ball.
Until Tibbs got there. Yep,
Tibbs
absolutely.
got there, injected them with a little bit of that '90s era. You're gonna play defense in my system,
Yeah,
and it worked.
absolutely. Defense and running. Defense and running.
And you can do that with a
Um,
which is I think New York's the youngest playoff team, maybe behind Atlanta. I think they're the youngest team behind Atlanta.
maybe.
That way,
So,
well,
but I
Ron
really,
instantly makes them at least 10 years older than everybody. So I think New York is the youngest team in the playoffs.
I really do want to pick Dallas. They have Porzingis. They got Luka. I am a huge Tim Hardaway Jr. fan, and I'm a huge Tim Hardaway Jr. fan, honestly, because of the lack of respect that his daddy got. His father, Tim Hardaway, back in Miami and Golden State was the father, the godfather of the crossover. Without Tim Hardaway, you don't have a crossover at all. And a lot of people overlook him when they talk about the best handles. They want to go straight to Iverson, straight to Kyrie. But Tim Hardaway set the
Tim Hardaway.
standard for a crossover, and it was nasty. I'm a real big Tim Hardaway Jr. fan, just off the strength of his dad, but also because my guy can shoot it, man. Tim Hardaway Jr. can shoot it. Like he is lights out.
That's something his daddy couldn't do with consistency.
Exactly.
It would shock me. The only thing I don't like about Tim Hardaway Jr. is that he's either going to give you 8, 18, or 28.
Yeah.
I'm not getting much. Granted, I like the range, but
if you could get a consistent, if you could get a consistent 14, you would prefer that.
I would prefer that. I would like that because when we would talk, I was talking with a couple of guys I used to work with, and I was like, I like what New York has in him. If you had to blow the team up and start over with draft picks, which is what they did, start over with draft picks, bring in guys through trades who just want to start or get considerable playing time or need to find some way to rejuvenate their career, you hold on to a guy like him.
Yeah. So you made the comparison when I mentioned Jordan Poole, you said he gave you J.R. Smith vibes. To me, Jordan Poole, like I said, is more of a Nick Young type of guy. Tim Hardaway Jr. is like J.R. Smith to me. His tendencies are exactly like J.R. Smith, except he's not going to make a boneheaded play at the end of the shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. But when Tim Hardaway is cold, he's cold. And he is hot. He's going for 35. The
good thing is that when he's cold, he's not going to sit there trying to shoot himself out of it.
Yeah.
At least this year, from what I've seen, he'll kick it over. Now, granted, now he has guys who can knock that down.
Yeah, I also like the fact that Dallas has what is his name? Finney Smith. He's a good defender. He kind of reminds me of what we wanted Al-Farouq Aminu to be. But he's a good defender. They got I think they got Willie Cauley-Stein off the bench.
Yeah.
So they got a good team. Having said all of that, all of the love that we just gave Dallas, having said all of that, I still got the Clippers winning. I believe that Kawhi, because Kawhi's not going to take days off in the playoffs. We know that. Because there's not going to be any back-to-backs.
What he can't afford is what happened last year. Because I seriously do believe they looked past them. I believe they did. Because
I'm gonna tell you,
bail on it like that.
I'm gonna tell you the problem with the Clippers, and this has been a problem since last year. You line them up against any Western Conference team, they gonna come out, they gonna play, and they gonna play Clippers basketball. You line them up against the Los Angeles Lakers. It's like they overhype themselves. This the Lakers. We gotta win this game because this is the other LA team, and we don't like them and they don't
Yeah,
like us. It's
we're
like, yo,
tired of
just
being
play.
little
Just
brother.
it's, yeah, it's like just play your game. Just play your game. And as a member of the Clippers, understand no matter what you do, you could win the championship this year. No matter
And
what you no matter what you do, you will always be the Los Angeles Lakers little brother. There's no way around it. There's no way. It's like the Mets trying to take over the Yankees, or it's like the
the
Jets trying to
Angels,
take over the Giants. That's not happening.
or
That's not
even the
happening.
Angels trying to take over the Dodgers, like that's not. No matter how good you are, it's not gonna happen.
Or like relating it to football. It's like the Houston Texans trying to overtake the Cowboys as the premier Texas team. It's not happening.
It'll
There's
never.
a there's a reason the Cowboys and the Yankees are always at the top of the Forbes list for the most valuable sports teams ever. Like, you're always going to be the little brother. So there's no reason to overhype yourself. Just play your game. And it's like the Clippers, they just psych themselves out. Um, but I do have them winning this series going up against Golden State in the second round. Um, Jamal Murray's not playing in Denver. They got Jokic. Jokic is great. Michael Porter Jr. I love Michael Porter Jr.
He's a year away
I,
though.
I'm sorry.
Still think he's a year away
I'm
from being
sorry though.
a guy
Yeah,
like that. I think he's still a year away. That him
yeah.
not playing his
No, I mean
initial
he is solid. He is solid right now. I think he's a year away from being an all-star.
That's what I
Like,
meant. That's what I meant. Him honestly, him not playing his initial rookie year because of the injury, I think that delayed a future god in the West. Because if you ask me, you give me a team in the West, like I'm looking at teams in the West right now. Take the 10 teams that we're talking about today in the West, and you tell me out of all these teams, give me the four with the brightest futures. I'm going Denver, Phoenix, Memphis, and New Orleans. That's where I'm headed with that. If I had to take any team and say, I get these guys for the next 5 years, who
mhm.
I feel the most confident can continue to play at the level or exceed expectations, those are the teams I'm looking at. Because keep in mind, the Clippers will be old. Dallas is in flux to me because I don't know what they're going to do year to year because you got Luka, but everything else around him is replaceable.
Except Porzingis. Porzingis is
Except
just injury prone.
yeah, and that to me that lends you to being replaceable at times. Because keep in mind, the best ability you can have
When
as a player is availability. If you
when
don't have
when you say
that's
when
a
you say when you say replaceable, there isn't anybody in the league that can do what Porzingis does at his size. There's nobody in the league that can do that. So
now. I mean,
so
but
I
you
don't so I don't know how
as,
you're
as
defining
far as, far as a guy
replaceable.
who you can put with Luca, I believe at that point Porzingis can be replaced with another forward just to give what he can. Because even if Porzingis can give you the 20 and 10 a night, the stretching of the floor, he can actually bring the ball himself.
Hmm.
But if I'm only getting that 42 nights a season in an
Hmm.
82 game schedule, and then you're counting playoffs, which I'm not guaranteeing he's going to play in because of how injury prone he is, how good does that really do me? And not to mention, since he's a marquee guy, he's going to take marquee money. So if
Oh
I'm
yeah, he's definitely taking marquee
marquee
money.
money on 42 on a 42 game player, that hurts what we can actually do with Luca. That hurts a lot of what we can do with Luca as far as building for the future. That's the reason why I left Dallas off that list because I'm not sure game to game how Dallas is going to field a team. Are they going to be as bad as they were by Christmas, or are they going to be as good as they were to end the season, one of the top 5 teams on both sides of the ball? Like, how good are they really? And I didn't know where to place them. Now, if I said give me a 15, I would probably put them there because they're young enough, and I like Luka a lot. I thought Luka was
Yeah,
MVP.
yeah.
I thought Luka was MVP last year. I
Okay.
can
All right.
I can't remember who won it last year. Was it Giannis won it last year?
Giannis.
But That wasn't Giannis's MVP. That was Luka's MVP.
Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you right now with the MVP award. I don't care what year we're talking about. Every year, the most valuable player is LeBron James. Every year, the most valuable player is LeBron James, because you can make all people make all the arguments about who's having a great year and MVP this and MVP that. Understand a couple things. First of all, if you take LeBron James off the Lakers right now, max they're winning 22 games. Max. They won the championship last year.
You take a look at team
this, man.
2 games this year. We got Oklahoma City, Minnesota won 23, whoop-de-doo. Houston was 17. Then you also had
Oklahoma City,
Orlando,
Oklahoma City winning 22 games is an anomaly. Oklahoma City is going to be really nice. They got some crazy amount of draft picks in the next 3 years. I think it's something like 30-something draft picks in the next 3 years. It's something absolutely ridiculous.
They got 10 picks per draft?
It was a crazy stat. It was don't quote me on it. It was a crazy stat.
I'll pull it real quick and see, because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So back to the bracket though. Like I said, I do got the Clippers winning. I got the Clippers winning. I got Portland beating Denver because it's Dame time. We all know what time it is. Give me Dame and Nurkic over Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and to touch back really quick, so we're not too far removed from that moment we just had, the Thunder in the trade season with 34 draft picks between 2021 and 2027. That's enough picks to fill 3 different teams.
That's what I'm saying. So OKC,
actually,
them winning 22
teams in IR, like that's ridiculous.
Them winning 22 games is an anomaly. They got SGA. They got SGA who's nice with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they got these draft picks that's going to be coming in. I'm not worried about OKC at all. They are building the way that I wish my beloved Chicago Bulls would have built. That's how they are building. That's how they are building. But like I said, got Portland over Denver. And then I got LA beating Phoenix. Phoenix ain't never been there before. Devin Booker don't know what it takes. The X factor for Phoenix is going to have to be Chris Paul. And every time Chris Paul comes up in the playoffs, it's like a black cat rolls around. He's just an unlucky playoff guy. So
he is hurt. Plays terribly. One of the two.
And so I'm taking LA. I don't think there's anybody on Phoenix who's going to stop Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and that's what it's going to come down to. Phoenix is good. They're really good, but I don't think they're beating LA. Not in 7 games.
Nah.
I don't think they're getting LA in 4 out of 7. There's no. Yeah. I don't think. I can't see that.
Yeah, to me, this was the worst possible year to be a 1 or an 8. I mean, to be a 1 or a 2 seed in the West. If you weren't LA or LA, like this is not the year to be a 1 or a 2, because you have and no one really believes in. And like I said earlier, I believe there are a lot of the Dallas Mavericks of 07. They're a 1 by record, but they're fraudulent as hell.
Yes, and LeBron has. We know this. We've known this for years now. LeBron has adopted the mentality. I don't care what we do in the regular season. I don't care where we place. As long as we place in the top 8, you know what time it is. You know what's about to happen. As long as I'm in the playoffs, you know what's going down. And so I don't care. I don't care what seed LA is. I really don't. It boils down to, do you have enough firepower to take LeBron and Anthony Davis out? If you got enough and honestly, it sounds simple, but you only need to take out one of them. If you take out Anthony Davis, the Lakers are going to lose. If you take out LeBron James, the Lakers are going to lose. You
I feel
can't have the
because there's really no matchup where you're going to keep LeBron from getting his. There's not one. We've been looking at this man for damn near 20 years. I've yet to see anyone really got there and strap LeBron. I mean, they legit, which I think is the stupidest MVP. Actually, two of the dumbest Finals MVP awards ever given out was the first one to Kawhi Leonard, and then the one that Iggy got. Those are the two of the most fraudulent MVPs, only because they beat the team that LeBron was on, and they have to be guarding LeBron. So they got a butt ton of press for giving up triple double averages to this man. Like,
yep.
because you go
So
back to the Heat series, it was the only reason why Kawhi got that one was because LeBron was the only Heat player that showed up the entire series. And then you had Iggy get it because he having to hold LeBron to 34, 9, and 9. I've never seen anyone say that's a great defensive effort. You gave this man an A+ rating on 2K every game out there. He was shoveling his man meat in your mouth the entire series. And they were like, you know what? Because you did such a terrible job guarding LeBron, here's this trophy that's now been completely devalued because it should have went to Steph.
yeah, you know, so my second round looks like Utah versus the Clips and the Blazers versus the Lakers. So, oh no, not Utah, sorry, Golden State versus the Clips and then the Trailblazers versus the Lakers. I got the Clippers beating Golden State because I believe the Clippers just have too much firepower, and I believe Paul George is going to be on a mission to prove that last year was an anomaly. I just pray he doesn't start preaching playoff P or whatever, because then his game is going to be trash. Every time he does it, it's trash.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have the Clips winning against Golden State in the second round, and as much as I love LeBron, and I do, I think LeBron is the second greatest ever, next to MJ. I got Portland beating LA in the second round. And the reason is number one, Anthony Davis never plays well against big men who are better than decent. He always struggles. Always. He it's like if you put him up against who is the
Jokic. Give me Jokic.
no. I need a bum center. If or not even a bum center, but if you put Anthony Davis up against
Al Horford.
Al Horford, yeah. Oh, he's going to go off. He might go for 40. If you put Anthony Davis, not against Jokic. Jokic is one of the best, not against Embiid. I'm talking about somebody. If you put Anthony Davis up against somebody like a DeAndre Jordan, for whatever reason, he still might get 30, but he gonna get 30 on 27 shots. So he not really playing that well. You know what I mean? Like it's always a center that's slightly above average that Anthony Davis doesn't play well against. And so you mean to tell me Anthony Davis is going to play well against Nurkic? Nurkic. No,
Mm,
no, 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 no. I don't
no.
believe that. Now, Nurkic is not a great defender. Nurkic is not a great
I
defender.
mean,
Anthony
I have
Davis will
better feet
eat
than her.
Nurkic up. Yeah, Anthony Davis will eat Nurkic up, when he has the ball in his hand. But Nurkic will also eat Anthony Davis up. Anthony Davis does not play well against finesse and skill, against like a skilled and finesse type big men. He does not play well. So that's one reason. The second reason is because the X factor is CJ McCollum. The Lakers don't have a third guy. The Lakers
Mm-mm.
have LeBron and they have Anthony Davis. Everybody talk about White Mamba, Caruso. He's trash. I'm sorry. Everybody talk about White Mamba. They got who is it? They got is it Marcus Morris? They got Marcus
Yeah.
Morris Sr. Uh that's another one. That's another one. He's not that good. Not that good anymore.
And they got
Um
Harold too, right?
who?
I think the Lakers
Oh,
have Harold too.
Montrezl Harrell, yeah, but Montrezl Harrell is a post presence. Whereas CJ McCollum can get you buckets anywhere he want on the floor. I'm a believer You play by twos, I'm gonna play by threes. We'll see who finish. We'll see who finished with the higher amount. So if Montrezl Harrell is the Lakers' third guy and CJ is Portland's third guy, I'm not picking LA to win. I'm not picking. We know LeBron is not an efficient 3-point shooter. We know that. Anthony Davis is not an efficient 3-point shooter. We know that. Montrezl Harrell ain't taking no 3-point shots. You know who is? You know who is an above average 3-point shooter for a big man? Nurkic. For a big man, Nurkic. You want to know who? You want to know who's a great 3-point shooter? CJ. You want to know who's the most clutch player I probably have seen in my life since Jordan?
Dame Lillard.
Dame. You know, give me those three over the Lakers three. Give me those three. And then do.
The thing is, I struggle to this. This is where we're going to disagree. I'm taking LA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking them to go back to the finals.
Hey, look, I will not be mad if the Lakers win. Understand, I like LeBron James. I am a LeBron James fan. I will not be mad if LeBron goes to the chip.
Yeah, I got them going back. Depending on who gets out of it, I got them winning it. Depending on who comes out of the East. If it's Brooklyn, it's gonna go 6 with Brooklyn taking it. But if it's a team that ain't been there yet, which almost everyone in the East who made the playoffs this year is one of those teams. I mean, literally every single one of those teams outside of Miami has not been to an NBA Finals with any player on their roster. Period.
Okay, so you got the Lakers. I mean, that's Portland and LA is an interesting series, but I'm taking the more efficient offense. I'm taking the more efficient offense, especially because LA's defense doesn't impress me.
Me, it never has to impress. My whole deal was LA was playing to get to this moment. Portland was playing to get the chance to have that moment.
Yep.
And there's a difference between playing with the expectation of knowing it's coming or trying to just get there. It's kind of like me and you are in France. We've road tripped before.
Absolutely.
You ever been in a car with the broke bros trying to get gas? That's Portland. They're going to scrape up enough to get you there. But you're going to have to worry about other things once you're there. With LA is like traveling with the bros who know what they're doing financially a little bit better. In undergrad, of course. You know, brothers that want to hold on to $120 so they got the money for gas, got a little money for food. So you're not scraping together a dollar menu change while you're there. You can go ahead and get the meal with your fries and your drink. You ain't really worrying about too much because you with people who understand what they're doing already. They act like they've been there before. This is something different to me for Portland. Because anytime you're running Portland up against a team that knows how good they are. When Portland had played up against had messed around and played up against Golden State and they got mollywopped. The reasons behind them getting mollywopped was because Golden State has been there before. They won, they understood what it takes to be a champion. Whenever Portland runs up against that championship pedigree type team, it never, ever goes their way.
Okay. Hear me out. Now you said that the Lakers are essentially more secure.
Yes, more secure.
Okay. We're gonna run down this real quick. This is just on paper. We're gonna run. So all I want you to say is the only thing you got to say is yes or no. Okay. All right. You trust LeBron?
Yeah, I trust LeBron. I mean, he's done nothing but make the NBA Finals every time he's been in the postseason for the last 10 years.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So you trust LeBron? Trust Anthony Davis?
After last year's performance, more than I thought I would.
Okay, that's fair. I'm with you so far. You trust Andre Drummond?
I've only seen him in the playoffs once.
Okay,
and that was okay showing. That was an okay showing because I think that was
like 20. So do you trust him or not?
To fill the role he has to fill in LA, I trust him to fill his role. but I don't trust him to be able to take time off of Nurkic.
Okay. Okay. But you trust him for the most part.
For the most part.
Okay. All right. You trust Montrezl Harrell.
No.
Okay. You don't trust Montrezl Harrell. Okay, so far you've trusted three, and you there's one that you don't trust, right? Those are the Lakers' main guys. Now, let's run through the others. Do you trust Giannis's brother, Kostas?
I
Costas,
don't
whatever
know
you
how
pronounce
much time this man is getting off the bench right about now.
it. Absolutely. All right. Do you trust Devontae Kaycott?
I don't trust the fact that his mama gave him that first name with
Yep.
that last name. So no.
Yep. Do you trust KCP? Yeah, that's a no. Okay. Do you trust Caruso?
Yes, I trust Caruso. I
To do
trust Caruso.
what?
I like Caruso
Do
because
you
I
trust
know
him to do what?
to give 100% effort every time he's out there on the floor.
Oh, okay. That's all you can trust him.
I've yet to see a moment where I'm like, I don't like what I see out of. No, I've never said I don't like what I see out of Caruso. I know he's not a starting point guard by any stretch, but he is definitely the most energy that they're going to get out of any player who looks like they're damn near 40.
Okay. I hear you. Okay. So Caruso, you trust him to get you 7 points, 10 points. Okay. Now let's run through the automatic no's that we know about. Jared Dudley, hell no. Mark Gasol, at this point, no. Kyle Kuzma, he too spotty. He too spotty. Wesley Matthews, another streaky one. Alonzo McKinney, has he played this year? Ben McLemore, no. Marquise
Now,
Morris,
that's someone
no.
Minutes. Ben McLemore, to me, should have been getting more time.
Then who?
Who the hell else they got at 2 guard?
I mean, he should be getting more time than Wesley Matthews, but Marquise Morris, no. Now, Dennis Schroeder.
I like him a lot. We talked about him in Atlanta. I like him a lot. He was the one that put Teague out. I liked him a lot.
Now, so we just ran through the Lakers. Now, let's run through Portland. All right. Do you trust Dame?
Do you have to ask?
do you trust CJ?
At times.
CJ delivered. CJ delivering just about every big moment.
I need to see that moment out of him. I've yet to see it. I've yet to see it. Like I can tell.
CJ, look.
Play to Dame's Steph. I haven't seen those play type moments out of him.
I don't need CJ to be Clay. I need CJ to be CJ. I don't know. Like CJ has stepped up in every big moment, even when he has a bad game. If it's a big moment and Dame is guarded and can't get a shot off, CJ right there ready, automatic. Like, do you remember what he did at Lehigh University in the NCAA tournament?
I remember what he didn't do. I smiled about it.
So, but CJ, yes or no? You trust him?
Like I said, I trust him, but it's the same way I trust AD.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so you trust Dame, you trust CJ, right? Boom, got those two out the way. Do you trust Robert Covington? I'm gonna tell you right now.
As long as he doesn't have a game like he had when he was in Houston, I trust him.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Robert Covington.
12 3-point performance. I was kind of off.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is a hot take. Anybody who want the smoke and want to debate me on it can come for me. They can come find me, and I can deliver the smoke. Robert Covington is the best one-on-one defender in the league. The absolute best one-on-one defender in all of basketball. Name one better.
Yeah, going head up one-on-one.
One-on-one.
I'm going to get back to you on that one.
See? All right. Do you trust Norman Powell?
Yes, I do, because I want Norman Powell in the Bulls jersey.
Hey, hey, hey. Look. We ain't really had no spotty nose in a good minute with Portland. Here's another thing. I haven't even mentioned Carmelo Anthony's name.
I forgot he was even still on that team.
See what I mean? And you want to talk about a scouting report and a guy who knows LeBron?
No one knows him better than somebody who should have been Rookie of the Year that year.
I mean, look. LeBron is great, second greatest all time. LeBron is still somehow playing at peak condition right now, and Carmelo is not at his peak. I understand, but even right now, you ain't leaving Carmelo open. So when you got Carmelo, you got Dame, you got CJ and Nurkic all on the floor at the same time, and you put Norman Powell out there, it sounds like a little Houston Rockets small ball kind of thing. And if you don't want to put Norman Powell out there, then you can sub in Robert Covington. And if you don't want to put in Robert Covington out there, you got Rondé Hollis Jefferson. And if you don't want Hollis Jefferson out there, you got Nasir Little from Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want him out there, you got a small guy who somehow is a rim protector in Derrick Jones Jr. I'm sorry, I have to take Portland. I have to take Portland over LA. On paper, they look more stable. But going back to your analogy about road tripping with your broke friends,
yeah.
it's LA to where your driver LeBron and your passenger AD, they good for it, but everybody else sitting in the back seat, you don't know what they got in their pocket. Portland, if Dame is in the driver's seat and CJ in the passenger seat, you know what your boys got in the back. That's how it looked to me.
Okay.
That's how it looked to me.
All right, like I said, that is the one matchup come second round that I'm gonna be watching with heavy intent.
Oh yeah, and believe me, if Portland loses, I will not be mad because I really want LeBron to have the chance to defend his crown. I really do. But again, I got Portland taking it. So that gives me Portland in the conference finals in the West against the Clippers. I have the Clippers pulling that out because Kawhi Leonard, there's Paul George, there's Rondo, there's Pat Bev, there's the other Morris twin. It's just the Clippers. They're trying to redeem themselves from last year. So
and that when I was watching that game in total disbelief that not only did they lose, but how they lost that game. Still thinking almost puts me back to a level of festivity I haven't been in a while, because that one, it confused me.
Right.
You're up, not only you up 3-1, but Paul George has seen playoff success. Say what you want about what happened recently.
No, he hasn't.
Indiana runs were runs, period.
No. Paul George is, if you want to talk about playoff success, Paul George has minimal. He has minimal.
Enough to keep losing a 3-1 lead to a team full of kids who ain't been there before. Yeah. That's why that game 7 loss was so big. And to me, it sticks out. And I'm not sure how good you have to be to get that kind of stink off you after blowing something like that. You can have a great regular season as you could possibly have. They had the kind of regular season I thought was going to have anyway.
Yeah.
Just that thing I thought was going to make it, but not like this.
Paul, if you call second round success experience or a lot of experience or successful experience, I mean, Paul George, he's been good up until
he got the two conference championship rounds out in Indy. Got two of them. Lost both of them to LeBron.
Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I believe that was the second round because I think Miami went to face Boston in the third round. I believe.
One of those years, at least one of those years, it was them.
I believe the year that Lance Stevenson blew in LeBron's ear. I believe that was the second round.
Might have been a year before that, because I remember it was they were putting a lot of stock into Roy Hibbert and also trying to get Danny Granger.
Oh my God, Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, I know. I just said that. I know I just said that, but we can't say anything now like that man wasn't a key part of what they were trying to do out there.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's why they failed. That's why they failed. But I got the Clippers.
But outside of the other big man, because it was two big men in that draft, and I was like, well, Indiana got the better one. It was him. It seemed to be.
Yeah. But long story short, I got the Clippers coming out of the West. For the East, start with the play-in. All right. Boston, Washington, 7 versus 8. Washington will get the 7th seed. The reason is because Brown is gone. And quite frankly, Boston looks horrible. Boston looks horrible.
It's that Boston could wind up losing to Charlotte after losing to Washington.
Your voice went out a little bit.
Oh, I was saying it's a good chance.
No, it sounded like an echo. Did you do something to your audio?
Nah, nothing different. How about now?
Same.
That's weird. Let me see something. Let me grab my headphones. Let me see the juice. All right, how about now?
Yeah, better.
All right. So what I was saying was, I believe that Boston has a really good shot at losing not just to Washington, but also losing to Charlotte. I think Charlotte's going to wind up beating the game. I think Charlotte's going to want to get an 8 and 8.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they are coming on 5 straight losses, but I just still think once all the chips are down, you know you're playing for one shot. Which roster do you like the most? And personally, the way Boston's built, they got a top 4 roster in the East easily. But for some reason, they underperformed last year and this year. To an extent that lacks respect from the rest of the league when you look at it. And also, the losing record on the road this year, which is embarrassing.
Again, we said it yesterday on the lost recording. We said it yesterday. We said it yesterday, but Brad Stevens has to take accountability. I'm tired of hearing about him being the top coach, in the last 10 years when he has absolutely nothing to show for it. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. His teams underperform in the playoffs. They always do. I'm tired of it. He has to take some accountability. If you gave Rick Carlisle, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, they got a dude who's really nice off the bench in Aaron Nesmith. They had Daniel Tice before they traded him to us. They had Tristan. They got Tristan Thompson. Who has championship experience, multiple finals experience, and one championship. If you give Rick Carlisle that, you know what to expect from them. They are going at least to the conference championship. Brad Stevens has to take some accountability for the fact that he has not led them to any type of promised land at all. Hasn't even gotten them close. Now, granted, Celtics are still young. Marcus Smart ain't all that young anymore. I mean, I think he's like 27-ish. But,
The age curve is getting up there, considering that there's always a group of 19-year-olds coming in. Now you looking like granddaddy out there. So yeah, it happens. It happens.
yeah, so I got Washington locking in 7. As much as I hate them, I have so Boston would drop to 8 temporarily until you figure out the winner between Charlotte, Indiana. Charlotte, Indiana. This is the bum bowl. I believe that Charlotte is going to win simply because of LaMelo and Miles Bridges. That's it. That's the only reason. PJ Washington is trash. Who the hell is their center? It ain't Kaminsky no more. It ain't Kaminsky no more. I don't even know.
But I may be off with that one. I want to say it was Hernan Gomez, but give me a second.
Yeah, whoever the center is, they ain't good. But I got Charlotte winning because maybe you will think that I'm crazy, but I still don't believe in Malcolm Brogdon. I never have, even when he was at Virginia. I never have. There's nothing about Malcolm Brogdon's game that makes me say, "Oh yeah, he's good."
Charlotte is kind of good down low.
Who's the center?
Yeah, Bismack Biyombo.
Oh my God!
Vernon Carey Jr. and Nick Richards get some play.
Who?
Nick Richards and Cody Zeller.
Oh no, that ain't that's all trash.
Now look at what that trash is going up against. It ain't like you throwing trash against filet mignon. It's really trash.
No. I'm sorry. As far as big men, you can line all 4 of them up. I'm still taking Sabonis and Miles Turner over them.
Oh yeah. I got it in my mind. Now you said LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges. There was another name that you failed to mention. A guy I like a lot.
Malik Monk.
Out of Kansas, Devontae Graham. I really like Devontae Graham.
Oh yeah, I like Devontae Graham too. I like Graham too. He's an X factor.
So where they're strong at is at guard up to maybe that small forward swinging position. Somewhere up in there where he is. I don't really trust anything they got coming through the post. I think Vernon Carey's still a project, but he's going to be the big that kind of matures along. I like him a little bit more than I like James Wiseman coming out. Crazy as that sounds, as far as ready to go, I liked him more than James Wiseman. I was like, Vernon Carey can go today.
Hey, James Wiseman about to be nice. James Wiseman about to be nice. Like James Wiseman is not a game.
I like him. So today, if I took on today, not projecting for the future, but just if a game was tipping today, he's like, okay, I get James Wiseman or I get Vernon Carey. I'm taking Vernon Carey for what it's worth.
Oh, I don't know. I think I disagree with you on that one.
Today, I will go. And it's mainly because of the skill set that he possesses. He can stretch the floor. He's 6'9". He can stretch the floor. He's proven to be super athletic. Has no problem getting down there and banging on the offensive end for rebounds, which is extremely important when you're talking about a team with streaky shooters like LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, guys who are very streaky. You need that guy who doesn't mind mixing it up.
I hear you. You can't teach 7-1 with a touch from 3. Who got a spin move in the post? You just can't teach it.
I'm not saying long term. I'm taking Vernon. I'm saying today. If I take it Vernon Carey, I'm not saying that man's going to get out there, ball out of control, averaging 20 and 10, future leader of a franchise that has championship history.
Right. No, I got you. I got you.
It's on
I
to
do. I do. So I got Charlotte beating Indiana just like you do. I have Boston beating Charlotte though. I have Boston beating Charlotte because as bad as Boston is, they're not bad. They're not that bad to where they're going to lose to Charlotte. Like they're not that bad.
Charlotte, I believe, has split the series with Boston.
See, you know when it comes to the playoffs, don't none of that season series matter. You know that. Like when the lights, let me ask you right now,
Mm-hmm.
LaMelo or Kemba, bright lights, who you taking?
I'm taking Kimber.
Let me ask you another one. Miles Bridges, Jaylen Brown, bright lights, who you taking?
Oh, Jaylen Brown if he was out there.
All right. PJ Washington versus Jason Tatum, bright lights, who you taking?
Give me the 6'11" Kobe, please.
Let's go off the bench. Marcus Smart versus Devontae Graham, bright lights. Who you taking? Game on the line. You taking is Devontae, and the real question for that matchup is Devontae Graham's offense greater than Marcus Smart's defense?
That's the biggest question there.
And defense win championships.
I believe Devontae Graham can win some of those matchups, but with the game on the line, I'm trusting the scrappier player to win in that matchup. And typically, the scrappier guys will be beat.
Absolutely. So I'm banking on Marcus Smart. Now, Bismack Biyombo or Tristan Thompson, bright lights.
Give me the guy that's actually played a playoff game. I'll take the guy that's actually played a playoff game.
Right? And here's an underrated one for you. Would you take Cody Zeller over Robert Williams?
No, because I really like how Robert Williams plays. He can actually play. He's the one Celtic who can play every position on the floor.
Yeah, and the Celtics got a guy named Grant Williams. I don't really like Grant Williams. I think Grant Williams is trash. I think he's like Big Baby. He just flops everywhere. But, he's there too. He's a part of their rotation. But I say all that to say Boston has played horribly. But the talent that they have it exceeds what they've been doing this season far beyond. Like they're finishing the season 36-36. They should have won at least 45 games this year. At least. But weird season. The COVID had an effect on the off season. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But I don't think Boston is losing to Charlotte. So I think Boston is going to lock up the 8 seed. I think Washington is going to lock up 7, which is going to be really fun for me because that means Brooklyn at the 2 gets to face Washington at the 7, and Kevin Durant is from PG County, Maryland, and I would love for the Wizards to beat them. But I would also love for him to beat the Wizards because I'm not a fan of either one, and I'm from DC. I'm not a fan of either one.
That matchup has to be like bittersweet no matter what happens, because the lack of respect that you have for Kevin Durant, and trust me, it's noted. I feel the same way about
Kevin Durant. Yeah. Let me speak on Kevin Durant real quick. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers that this league will ever see. There is no doubt about it. He is all world. He is talented as hell. He may go down as a top 10 player at the end of his career. Kevin Durant, I will never, ever, ever call Kevin Durant a bum. What I will call him is the B word, because he robbed me of good quality basketball to stack the odds because he could not win a championship. And the era that I grew up in, where I come from, how we played on the street, how we played in the gym, how we played in high school and everything like that, where I come from, you don't jump ship to go join a team that don't need you because they winning. Well, if you are as great as what your talent says you are, you take the team that you on, or you go to another team that needs you, and you flip that team and turn them into a championship contender immediately. You don't join a 73-9 team who just got to the finals and don't need you. As a matter of fact, the reason why Golden State is in the predicament that they've been in the last 2 years is because of Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant never went to Golden State, Golden State could have they still could have had been building the team rather than just the starting five. Remember their motto was strength by numbers. Then they got Kevin Durant. All of those numbers signed elsewhere. Maurice Spates went away. Sean Livingston went away. All of the players. Matter of fact, wasn't David Lee on that bench?
Sean Lee's a linebacker for the Cowboys.
You were right. David Lee. Yeah, all of those numbers, Bogut, all of those numbers, all of those players that Golden State valued coming off the bench and had a lot of depth. All of that was compromised to sign this man just to make the game easier for him. Golden State didn't need him. They was going to go to the finals anyway the next year. They didn't need him. No, they were. If they didn't sign Kevin Durant and they signed somebody else on a much cheaper deal and was able to keep the depth on the bench, they were going to get back to the finals. They didn't need Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant, hey, my team, we played y'all. We was up 3-1. We blew the damn lead. So I'm trying to join y'all now. Like, nah, you a whole B word.
The reason why I really kicked off with Kevin Durant and signed was that every single game that they played against when OKC and the Warriors met that year, OKC had a lead or within striking distance of every single game.
And
they had a lead in the fourth quarter of Game 7 and Game 6.
And here's the thing. Here's the funniest thing. Kevin Durant leaves Golden State to go to Brooklyn. And you somehow believe that if Brooklyn wins a championship, that's going to prove to the public that you're not a B word and that you can lead a team to a championship? No, my guy, it's you, Harden, and Kyrie. No, you should win a championship. And Blake Griffin, and Blake Griffin, and like yo. Yeah, yo. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the Nets have messed up. They sold their soul for one championship because I believe that the Nets are gonna win the championship this year. I really do. That's my pick. The Nets Clippers. The Nets winning the whole thing. They sold their soul for one ring because I'm telling you right now. We talked briefly about Indiana. The one person we ain't mentioned was who Indiana got in that trade. Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert is coming. He is coming. And Brooklyn has screwed themselves by getting rid of that man. Caris LeVert is what, like 22, 23? Like he's young. He got his future ahead of him. He is a guy where when Kevin Durant leaves Brooklyn, because Kevin Durant is 32, 33 years old, when Kevin Durant leaves Brooklyn and he's on the back nine of his career, you don't have Caris LeVert where you could have had him. And here's the thing, even before the Harden trade, Brooklyn was still going to go to the finals. Even before they didn't need Harden. And so it's like I don't know what KD think. What he think he about to prove winning if they win a championship this year. He ain't about to prove nothing. He ain't about to prove nothing other than the fact that he's still weak. He's still weak. He still can't win as the leader of the team. He's the best player on the team, but make absolutely no mistake about it. You only there because Kyrie there. That's the only reason why you're there. Kyrie went there and you said, oh, let me jump on this bandwagon. That's why you there. You might be the best player. Matter of fact, it's James Harden's team before it's Kevin Durant's team. James Harden is the one who's really playing point guard when them three in the lineup together. The show really run through Harden. Durant, he get the ball. He get the ball off a screen, catch and shoot. He'll get the ball at the top of the key because ain't nobody else 6'11" that's playing the three. He just galloping his way to the hole. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Durant he's a hooper. That's what he is. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with hoopers, but hoopers aren't necessarily the best basketball players. They hoopers. Kevin Durant is good at getting his. He ain't good at leading you to any type of nothing. He never has been. What happened when he was in school at Texas? Nothing.
Or that loss to A&M where AC Law went off.
And where's AC Law at now? When the last time you heard his name?
Today when I just said it, that's the last time.
My point exactly. You feel me? Like Kevin Durant, he's a walking bucket, but that's all he is a bucket. That's it. Like everybody was impressed by that defense he played on LeBron when the Cavs and the Warriors played in the finals. No. The reason why his defense looked great is because he had help. Draymond Green was down there. Klay Thompson was on the other side on the wing. So it's easy for Kevin Durant to get blocks because LeBron can't drive because of the other two. They got KD's back. You know what I'm saying?
For the whole time, basically making it. I mean, that's typically what some guys' role is anyway on defense. Look, I need you to make it easier on our stars so that we can use him where we can. So I don't fault the guys.
No, I
do fault Kevin Durant for completely annihilating the Western Conference. Because keep this in mind, at one point, you could have said, hey, any team 1 through 8, if you told me they made it to the NBA Finals, I would not be surprised or shocked at all.
Right, it was competitive.
This year, I can say that, but it's only because, well, actually, no. If Golden State made the NBA Finals, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. That's the only team that if they made it, I'd be like, you know what? The hell happened here? And I would be looking for answers. But you tell me LA gets in as a 7. Okay, they're the repeat. They're defending champions. You tell me Utah gets there. They're playing the best basketball at any team in that conference all season. You tell me Phoenix made it. They have been red hot all year. They literally took what they did in the bubble and just brought that bad boy right into the season. You also got Dallas. You tell me Dallas makes it. I'll be perplexed, but not surprised.
Like how? Yeah. No, I get you.
But then again, I understand that you can have and Dallas proved it before in 2010. You can have a guy get hot and take you to one. It can happen. Dirk got hot and took that mediocre roster to a ship.
Yep. All right, but let's run through the East right quick. We got the play-in tournament set. So I got Philly and Boston. Philly, I got winning that in 6. I think Boston going to drag that out to 6. Boston usually plays Philly really well. And Philly is a team, quite frankly, they can't shoot. The only one that can shoot is Tobias Harris. And I think Matisse Thybulle, but Matisse Thybulle is only going to shoot about 5 times a game. It's not like a lot of volume there.
He's not aggressive enough for a team with no shooting.
Yeah. Embiid shoots the ball, but he's not efficient from 3. I mean, he's efficient for a big man, but he's not efficient. You know what I mean? We know Ben Simmons ain't taking no threes. We can dead that.
But I mean, it's a shocking stat when I was like, dang, I didn't even know Bro didn't attempt a 3 until he knocked out the first one.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ben Simmons got a nice form.
He do. He just can't shoot. It's kind of like a gun that has like a jam in the chamber. It looked really good in form, but its efficiency is somewhere around a zero. That's exactly where he is with that jump shot. It
Yeah,
looks nice. He has a
but
great two
but
form, but
he
ain't
he
nothing
he
dropping.
has a Ben Simmons has a awesome mid-range and inside game. Awesome. It is awesome. And I don't really like Ben Simmons all that much, honestly, because I don't like basketball players that can't shoot the ball. I think you're a liability. But Ben Simmons, that dude. So I got Philly winning in 6. New York, Atlanta, I got New York winning in 4. I don't think Atlanta is ready. I think that the evolution, and I'm so proud of Julius Randle because LA wrote him off. I'm so proud of Julius Randle. I was a Julius Randle fan back when he was at
Kobe
Kansas.
actually, Kobe was upset that they let that man go.
Yeah, I
Kobe
was
said,
yeah
"That's a
back.
baller."
I was a Julius Randle fan when he was at Kansas. I'm happy to see his evolution.
Kentucky.
I just wish it wasn't oh yeah, Kentucky. Was it Kentucky? Kentucky, yeah,
It's Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah. I just those K schools, but
They
I'm
basically, Kansas and
yeah,
Kentucky guys are play the same for the most part.
yeah.
Except
But
that Kansas play 4 years, Kentucky guys lead up.
yeah. But no, I'm saying I'm happy for his evolution. I don't think Atlanta can do anything with him. I think Trey Young shoots the ball too much trying to be Steph Curry. He's good, but I don't think he's gonna put Atlanta over the hump. I really don't. Not when you talk about the Knicks having a surprisingly spry Derrick Rose. Not like Chicago spry, but he's more spry than he was in Minnesota and
He,
Cleveland.
I was gonna say, yeah, Minnesota. I think Minnesota rejuvenated him. That 50-point game.
That 50
I,
point game, yeah.
I figure with you. My girl can vouch for me. I know she's across the room right now. I'm not sure she's going to be able to say much and you guys will hear it. But when that happened, I was legit like I was visibly happy. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, me too. Me too. As
like
a Bulls fan, I loved watching Derrick Rose succeed because quite frankly, we did him wrong. We wrote him off, if you ask me. Um, we gave up on him because we as fans and the organization was tired of dealing with his injuries. So I'm happy to see that his career is back on track to where he's playing 14, 15 per game ball. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have seen that 50-point performance. But they got Derrick Rose and they got R.J. Barrett. They got Julius Randle. They got what's his face, Emmanuel quickly coming off the bench, looking like a young Lou Will. I mean, they got Taj Gibson off the bench. They got Tibbs as the coach. Atlanta's not doing anything with the Knicks.
nah.
Atlanta's not doing anything.
Atlanta to me, and I said this yesterday. Like I said, we did a lot of talking on yesterday on edition that totally with Atlanta. I believe that was a team that overachieved for the talent that they have. Because outside of John Collins, outside of Trey Young, to play that trust game again, do you trust Cam Reddish? Do you trust Horton? Like, do you trust those guys to step up when the time is needed? Now, Porter's very young. I think he's 21. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing with
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
um,
I'm
with
with you.
Ray.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I don't trust Atlanta. They're too loose cannon. They're too loose cannon. Um, but so I got the Knicks winning in the sweep. Quite frankly, I have Miami beating Milwaukee. Jimmy Butler has always had Giannis's number, even dating back to Chicago. Jimmy Butler
Mm-hmm.
has always had Giannis's number, and we know if Giannis ain't getting to the rack, you have taken him completely out. If Giannis can't get to the rack, he's not doing anything, nothing. Um, the Miami Milwaukee series reminds me of the 1-8 matchup a few years back between Boston and Chicago. Boston was not a real number one seed. They were a fraud. Milwaukee is always going to be a fraud because the second guy that they depend on is Chris Middleton. He's a bum. I don't care what anybody says. He's a bum.
Well, I think now the second guy is technically going to be Drew Holiday. I think he's technically going to be
not offensively. Not over Middleton. Middleton is a good shooter. The reason why I call him a bum is because all he does is shoot. You know, Drew Holiday is a good defender, but Drew Holiday, he gonna be on what, Dragic?
Yeah, that's not gonna go too well.
Well, here's my question.
Yeah, Dragic and what's my boy with the jacked up mouth? You know what I'm talking about too. He got backwoods. I remember what his name.
Look, let me ask you this. To put it in perspective so that all of the listeners understand what I'm saying. Let me ask you this. Match this up for me. I'm gonna give you the Heat player. You give me the Bucks player that they're gonna match up with. All right. You heard me?
I'm with you.
All right. So I'm gonna give you Goran Dragic. Who you giving me? Who's matching up with him?
I give you Drew.
Tyler Hero.
It's really, they got so many guards in Miami.
It's probably gonna be Middleton. I give it to you. It's probably gonna be Middleton.
Probably Middleton, but
probably
I was trying to hold Middleton out because I know I'm gonna need Giannis to guard Bam.
So Jimmy Butler. Now what they could now give you Giannis.
Give me Giannis on Butler.
Now what Milwaukee could do, they could put DiVincenzo on Tyler Hero. And then they could put Middleton on Butler, and then you put Giannis on Bam. They could do that. And it sounds like a solid plan.
That would work because Giannis is bigger than Bam by at least 2 inches.
Taller.
Well, Giannis ain't no little guy either.
Nah, but Bam definitely got weight on him. But yeah, Giannis is a big. That he's a big. So you could put Giannis on Bam. That's fine. But here's the problem. You've named 4 Milwaukee Bucks. You've named Drew Holiday. We've named Donovan DiVincenzo. We've named Chris Middleton. We've named Giannis. Who is checking Duncan Robinson off the bench?
This has always been their problem. Is the depth of the team. This has always been their problem. Let's look at these boards real quick and see who I would
see what I mean. See what I mean? Who is checking Duncan Robinson off the bench? Who is checking Andre Iguodala off the bench? Who is checking Victor Oladipo?
If Victor plays the entire series, because he's been on to get bit by the injury bug too. So that does as well.
Oh, okay. Who's checking Kendrick Nunn? Miami is just too deep.
Yeah. Jeff Teague don't get much burn.
Jeff Teague is he trash.
He don't get much burn. PJ Tucker don't get much burn. Bobby Portis is a waste of space at this point, at least with this 2 years.
But that's my thinking. I'm not saying Milwaukee can't win. I'm just telling you why I'm taking Miami. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like total side note, but to be honest, Antetokounmpo,
yeah,
that's got to be disappointing to be the only one in your family who's under 6 foot. Like you walk in at 6'6", you're the biggest man in the room in most places. You walk into your mama house, you are instantly the smallest, and you're the oldest one.
Hey, yeah. But so for me, I got Miami. I got Miami beating Milwaukee, so I got Brooklyn going up against Miami in the second round. I got Philly going up against New York. I think Philly's going to knock New York off in 4. I got Brooklyn knocking Miami out in 5. And now it comes down to Philly and Brooklyn. I got Brooklyn winning in 7 because Philly. Oh yeah, Philly got defense. Brooklyn don't. Kyrie don't play defense. KD don't play defense. James Harden don't play defense. And Joel Embiid plays all the defense. Ben Simmons plays all the defense. Matisse Thybulle plays all the defense. You know what I'm saying? But I think that Brooklyn is gonna get to the finals. Like I said, I think they beat the Clippers. That's my playoff summary, man. That's how I see it.
All right, well, shoot, man. I can see that. Like I said, we just have different LA teams in the finals. Personally, I'm like LA. The Lakers out of the West.
I want the Lakers. I want the Lakers in the finals. I want the Lakers in the finals. I just don't see how they're going to get there with the roster that they got because it's not great. And quite frankly, LA, the Lakers, I love LeBron. I don't want him to have another ring closer to Jordan. I don't want him to. Like, I love LeBron, but I don't want people and these young little 18-year-old kids talking about, oh, LeBron is the greatest of all time. No, he's not. Stop it. And I just don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want LeBron to have another loss on his finals record. I don't want it. LeBron is too great to have been in the finals 10 times and lost 6 of them. He's too great for that.
Has he lost 6 already?
He got 4. He got 4 rings, so we know he won 4 times. I think he's been to the finals 10 times.
Yeah, he lost.
Let me see. But he went. So he went. So we can count it. We can count it. He got 1. He got 1 in Cleveland the first time.
Yeah, right? He lost to San Antonio.
San Antonio. He went to the finals 4 times in Miami, so that's 5. Then he went to the finals 4 times again in Cleveland and beat Golden State once. That's 9. And then last year, he got 4 rings and his record in the finals is 4-6. I don't want him to get to 4-7, but I know that the Lakers, they can't beat Brooklyn. I know they can't.
Well, you got some points there. I don't think they can beat Brooklyn either. Personally, I think if there's any team that could shock us and wind up losing sometime in this playoffs, it may just be Brooklyn. Because
my dream scenario for these playoffs, my dream scenario is the Lakers get close. The Lakers get to the conference finals and lose because I don't want LeBron to have another L on his finals record. And Brooklyn gets knocked out in the first round by the Wizards because then nobody can tell me about Kevin Durant. I don't want to hear anything about Kevin Durant. That's my dream scenario. I know it's not going to happen. I know Brooklyn is going to get at least to the second round. But Brooklyn, I don't want Brooklyn to win. I don't want them to win, but I don't see a team that can beat them.
Yeah, I don't see that being the case at all either. But what I do see is the Lakers getting to the finals out of the West. In the East, I'm gonna go Brooklyn. Brooklyn winning it against the Lakers. I see that happening. But actually, no, I'm gonna switch that. I see the Lakers beating Brooklyn because I don't think Brooklyn can be a team with the Lakers' size. The Lakers are that much bigger than them boys. I think they're gonna take it to them.
You got a lot of faith in Anthony Davis. All I know
it's not just Anthony Davis at that point, because at that point I'm asking, who are you as the Nets going to forward all those bigs that they got? Are you going to put KD on?
I know. I feel you. That's a very valid point. That's a very valid point.
Who the hell is going to guard LeBron?
Yeah, no, that's
the rest of the team. He's going to put on him. Blake Griffin.
that is a very valid point. I can't even argue that.
The minute you switch him
the
off,
Lakers are big.
you switch KD off and put him on LeBron. Hey, he's have a field day with everybody who's named KD.
Yeah, man. That's a good point. I I just don't. I just really don't. I just really don't want Brooklyn to win, but I don't want LeBron to have another loss.
I mean, my thing is, in my eyes, you're not going to be able to replace Jordan as the great and as the GOAT because of when he did it and who he wound up doing it against.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people say, well, he beat the team that won 73 games. You put that 73 win Warriors team against the 72 win Bulls or even the 69 win Celtics. I'm saying the Warriors are the third best team in that situation. As far as that goes, you want to talk about depth? That Boston team was the deepest NBA team of all time. So deep that they had Bill Walton as the 11th option off of the bench. You have any idea how good you got to be to have a former franchise player and one of the all-time greats to come off your bench as your fourth big man?
Yeah.